Now that we've explored the community page, let's look at your individual profile. You'll see up in the right-hand corner your name appears. Go ahead and click on that, and a sidebar should pop up on the right. So there's a lot of different features that come on the sidebar, and we'll walk through each one of them, but it's just going to allow you to see different activity that you do on SonomaSync. Let's start by clicking My Profile. This will take you to a page where you'll see some contact information for yourself as well as a few things up at the top. We'll go through each of those individually, but let's start by editing your profile. You'll click Edit Your Profile at the bottom, and it'll take you to this page. Here you can upload a profile picture, which we definitely recommend, as well as make sure that your contact information is up to date. Some of this will be auto-populated just from information we've pulled from the university system, but we encourage you to add contact information in case we as an office need to contact you or members of your organization do. You can add in your birthday, about me, and any other relevant information that you'd like to add. When we hit continue, it takes you to the OrgSync University's profile. So this message is telling you that the information you include on the next page, only administrators have access to this. Administrators include student involvement staff, and it's not anything the general student can see. If we continue, you'll see that there's a few more prompts, such as pronouns and involvement interests. We really encourage you to put in your pronouns so that we can make sure that we are identifying you in the way in which you'd like to be identified. Involvement interests allow us to know what exactly you're interested in and hopefully help you to target events and opportunities that interest you. You can click as many of those as you'd like. You'll agree to the information agreement and click Finish. So as you can see, it's super easy to update your profile, and you can do that at any point. Now let's go to Inbox. If you click on Inbox, it'll take you to your message center where you can send messages, you can see messages that you've received, and use any of these features to communicate in SonomaSync. If you ever get a message, you can also see it up here by clicking on your name again, and it'll have a new message and however many messages that you have in that sidebar. You may get messages to your email already rather than just within the SonomaSync system, so know that that's an opportunity as well. The next tab is Activity, so there's quite a few things on here, so we'll go through each of those, but this allows you to see what you've been doing in SonomaSync. So the first tab over here is Forms. Here you can see forms that have not yet been submitted as well as your submitted forms. The forms that have not been submitted are forms that you began to fill out but didn't completely finish them. This being said, you can click on them and continue to fill out the form. You can also delete the form here if you don't want to pursue that opportunity or complete that form anymore, and also see if the form is still open or if it's been closed. Submitted forms is a little bit different. So these are forms that you have submitted before and have completely filled out. This is where we're going to be able to see if we have approved, if it's pending, or perhaps denied a form that you filled out. And if you click on any of the forms, you'll be able to see the information that you inputted into the form. Now let's go to Exports. Exports is a feature where if you ever export any information from SonomaSync, such as information from a form or anything else, it'll show up here. So you'll go to your exports and you can just click on any of these and it will download an Excel file, a PDF, whatever you initially selected when you clicked the first export button. The good thing about this is that these don't go away, so if you accidentally close out of something or you need to return to a form that you downloaded earlier, you can do that here at any time. The next is event requests. So I mentioned in an earlier video that you have the opportunity when creating events in SonomaSync to ask that it be shared to the student involvement or Sonoma State University calendar. When you do that, you'll see these event requests pop up here. You can click on the event and see what exactly you submitted, as well as see the approval status here. So it will either be approved, reopened, denied, or pending based on the information that you put in the event request details. The next is position requests, and really this is only relevant for the presidents, treasurers, and advisors of organizations. When they go through the chartering process each year, we ask that the president, treasurer, and advisor of every organization fill out a set of forms and agree to the policies of Sonoma State University. So what you'll see here is that I am the advisor to Epsilon Sigma Rho. So if I didn't fill out my forms, I would have an incomplete awaiting forms. If I filled them out but they haven't been approved, you would see this pending status right here. And since I am the advisor for Epsilon Sigma Rho and did complete those forms, you'll see that approved status there. If your president, treasurer, or advisor didn't fill the forms out and need access to them, they can go ahead and use this position requests tab here, click on whatever position they need to, and it'll take them to the page to fill out those forms. This next, registrations and renewals, is also something that is probably only a concern of the president, treasurer, and advisor. When they go through chartering, every year you'll have to renew your registration on SonomaSync for your organization. This just means going into your portal and updating any information so that we know that it's current. You'll see here that if you submit any of the portal registration requests, that they'll pop up here, as well as the status of if it's been approved. And then finally, membership requests. So you can request that people join your organization on SonomaSync, and we'll talk about that in a later video of how you do so. But if you ever send a membership request to somebody in your organization, if they don't see it in an email, they can also go here, click on membership requests, and the request would show up here for them to accept. So that's all of the activity. Let's look at events. So this brings up a calendar, and based on your involvement, has events on there. So as you can see, in the beginning of May, we have quite a few things, as well as all these different categories over here. Right now, all of them are selected, which means that anything that I'm involved with, the organization's events are popping up right here. But let's say I don't want to see everyone's events. I can check the portal button, and it unchecks everything underneath of it. So let's say that I only want to see student involvement things. If I click on that, now only things that pop up under the student involvement calendar are showing up. We're not going to talk about to-dos, involvement, or ePortfolio, just because those aren't features that we use very often here at Sonoma State. This being said, the last tab we're going to talk about is settings, so let's go ahead and click on that. Here you'll be able to control some of the settings of your account and your preferences for communication. I mentioned earlier that I get all of my SonomaSync emails and messages to my personal email, and that's the way that I like to do things so I can keep updated on what's going on and anything that I need to complete on the site. If you do not want that to happen, you can use this toggle bar, just click it off, and you won't receive any of those emails to your email address anymore. You will only receive them on SonomaSync. I'm going to keep it on because that's my preference, as well as I would encourage you all to keep it on as well. You can do the same thing with text messages, any individual organization portals, as well as manage your privacy settings on the left-hand side.